The title of this podcast is There's No Such Thing as Not Getting a Winning Hand. If you listen to these podcasts for a while, and thank you if you have, or if you're just coming to them to know about these podcasts now, thank you for that too. What you need to know is that I have committed myself to working on me a lot. And I think that is my most important work. And in some cases, it's my only work is to work on me. And so what I know is, at least for me, is that a spiritual person works on themselves to make any hand that they're dealt a winning one. And that's what I've worked on. So a good example would be the game of pickleball. I really have developed a fondness for pickleball, enjoy playing it. And it has been an excellent exercise in me working on myself and letting go. From the way that I have, progressed in terms of the skill set as a player, that's measurable. But there's another thing that's measurable is who I'm being when I'm on the court. When I first came there, some old tendencies that in default behavior that I exhibited a lot before the practice and worked on, that disappeared in a lot of areas. But I found that pickleball stimulated it again in some new areas. I mean, in a new space, and so that became my work. And part of that is who was my partner that I was going to be playing with, and I allowed myself to my mind to say that my partner had to be a certain way for me to have a good time, whether that's showing up on time for our play, whether it's playing a certain way that I've been taught to play, that this is the way they need to play too, or whether it's being a good partner on the court. I've created all these rules, along the way, forgetting about the rule that I have for myself, which is I have a rule for the way Keith Jones is supposed to be in the world, but no rules for how other people need to be. Now, when you are playing in a team-oriented game or with a partnership, there's room to come to an agreement about what that looks like, and here's how we're going to show up for each other. So most recently, I was playing with someone's spouse who came to play, and admittedly, he has said that he likes to do his own thing. Well, doing your own thing in certain sports, as well as life or work projects, that's not necessarily going to help you produce a desired outcome. And that's certainly the case with him. And so some other players had played with him before, and they commented about like he doesn't listen, he wants to do his own thing. And he even came back and said, I don't want to play with them anymore because they won't let me do my own thing. Well, in a team sport, doing your own thing, it it limits the kind of fun and joy and experience that everybody could have collectively. But if you're rowing in the same direction, it could be a lot more fun and you produce better results. In a game like pickleball, if you and your partner aren't on the same page, there's a lot of points that the game end quickly because the other team is able to take advantage of you not being on the same page, much like life, right? So in this particular case, I drew him as my partner. And I actually chose him as my partner because I wanted to establish a rapport earlier. And I asked him before we started, are you okay with coaching? And I also chose him early as my partner because I didn't want other people to have this experience with him, which is fine. Like I'm no martyr, like taking one for the team. I just thought that I want everybody to have a good experience. And so when we got into the game, I told him, I said, hey, listen, I played these two players before. They're very good. Here's the areas they're going to take advantage. They're going to try to take advantage of us on. So if you're open are you open to me giving you coaching? And he's like, yeah, what is it? And I said, it'd be great if you stand here and look out for this. This is where this player is going to hit the ball. And he was like, he said, no, I'm okay standing here. And I said, okay, but here's what's going to happen. He's like, well, I guess I'll have to learn the hard way. And no regard for how it's going to impact us as a team. And I accepted that he was not open to the coaching. And of course, we went on to get beat handedly in that game. But what I'm grateful for is that there's no such thing as not getting a winning hand with him as a partner, because I accepted that he was not open to the coaching. And I played the best way I could, continue to be a good teammate. And then I actually offered to be his partner later in the night, because he was supposed to play with someone else, but that person didn't want to play with him. And so he said, "Hey, Keith, I haven't played with you the whole time. I would like to be your partner in this foursome." And so, we beat them 11-0 in that game. And we played, we didn't go all out to play. We just took advantage of them not playing the game is that if you follow certain rules and strategies, you'll be more effective. And he was unwilling to do that because, he wanted to do his own thing. But what was more important was not the outcome of the score or even trying to teach him a lesson, which we were not trying to do. What was more important is that I still got a winning hand because I got to work on myself in that experience. And in so many experiences, I did not do that. I made it a problem that I was with this person and I suffered complaining internally and aloud about the other person. I've done it in group projects, not at Mayo, but in other areas of my life, in school and other experiences, not recognizing that there are no losing hands. The hand that you're dealt is the winning hand. The spiritual person learns how to take what they're given and to work with it. And when I say work with it, work with themselves first and then work with the situation. So if you are with a spouse or significant other, a family member, or a colleague, and your mind tells you, and there's probably evidence to back it up, that they're difficult to work with, before you start messing with them, work on you first. And that you've gotten to the point to where you can start to even entertain having a conversation with them is when their behavior no longer bothers you. And so you just won because you are calm and peaceful inside. And then if you get to a point to where that is your internal state, then you can go and have a conversation with them. And if they're not open to what you have to share, and they're not interested in creating a partnership with how the relationship can win more together, then you practice acceptance, and then you won again. So again, the title of this podcast, which I hope you will embrace and begin to practice, is that no such thing as not getting a winning hand.